It's funny how your whole life can burn down in a single day, and the one holding the match is the man you swore to destroy. The same man who, right now, is standing in front of me, asking if I still hate him. New York has never felt smaller. A city built on ambition suddenly feels like a cage glass, steel, and regret pressing in from every side. I used to be on top of it all. Ethan Reyes, the youngest creative director in Manhattan's most cutthroat ad agency. I had everything: a name, a future, and a secret I'd buried so deep, even I pretended not to know it. His name was Lucas Vale. Lucas was the kind of rival you both despised and admired: golden boy looks, genius campaigns, and that unbearable calm whenever he beat you. Which he did. Every single time. For years, we competed like our lives depended on it: clients, awards, even the smallest wins over coffee meetings. What I didn't realize was that while I was trying to outshine him, he was quietly learning everything about me: my habits, my temper, and the cracks in my armor. And then he found the biggest one. It happened last fall. A major pitch for a billion-dollar client, the one that could have secured my career for the next decade. I stayed up for days, perfecting every line, every image, every heartbeat of that campaign. Then, the night before the presentation, my concept leaked. Word for word, visual for visual, and the name on the winning deck: Lucas Vale. The fallout was nuclear. My boss didn't even look me in the eye when he said, "You're done here." By morning, my name was synonymous with fraud. The industry devoured me alive. And Lucas, he disappeared. No apology, no explanation. Just gone. Until last week. He showed up at my new job, a small PR firm in Brooklyn, far from the glossy towers of Madison Avenue. He walked in like a ghost dressed in designer confidence, asking to collaborate on a campaign. "We're expanding," he said. "I want you on my team." I laughed in his face. And then, somehow, I said yes. Because apparently, I'm a masochist with rent due. The first few days were hell. Every word he spoke sounded like a challenge. Every glance felt like a dare. But late nights in the office blur the line between hate and something dangerously close to longing. Especially when he starts remembering things: the way I take my coffee, the playlists I used to blast at 2 a.m., the nervous habit of biting my pen when ideas don't come. I should have hated him more. Instead, I started noticing the tremor in his voice when he spoke my name. One night, after a grueling brainstorming session, the power went out. Just us, the storm outside, and the glow of the city bleeding through the windows. I remember his face lit by lightning, soft, unsure, human. "I didn't steal your campaign," he said quietly, "but I did destroy you. Because I couldn't stand that you made me feel something I didn't know how to name. I wanted to laugh, scream, hit him, anything but believe him. But he looked at me like a man confessing a crime to the only person who could forgive him. And maybe that's exactly what it was. When the lights came back on, I realized something terrifying. I didn't know if I wanted to forgive him or kiss him until every lie turned into truth. For the next week, every interaction became a test. His hand brushing mine over a keyboard. The way he watched me when he thought I wasn't looking. The apology in his silence. I told myself it was all manipulation, the same psychological warfare he'd always used. But then, on Friday, as I packed up to leave, he said something I didn't expect. "Ethan," he murmured, "you didn't lose everything to me. You just stopped believing it was yours." Something in me cracked. The following Monday, I showed up early, stupidly early, and found him already there, sitting on the floor with 2 cups of coffee. "Peace offering," he said. "And before you say no, it's your favorite. 2 sugars, 1 lie." I sat down across from him. "What's the lie?" He smiled faintly. "That I ever wanted to beat you." I didn't drink the coffee right away. Maybe because I was afraid that if I did, it would mean forgiving him, and forgiveness was something I hadn't figured out how to taste yet. But as I sat there, across from Lucas, watching the sun slip through the blinds and cut across his face, I realized something strange. He wasn't the same man I'd built up in my head, the one made of arrogance and betrayal. He looked tired, human. "Why are you really here, Lucas?" I asked finally. He didn't answer right away. He turned the cup in his hands, eyes fixed on the small swirl of steam. Because I never stopped being here, he said softly. Even when you hated me, even when you were gone. It should have sounded poetic. Instead, it hurt. You ruined me, I whispered. I know. You took everything. I did. Then why? Because I loved you, he said. And I didn't know how else to win. The words hung in the air like a confession to something holy and terrible. For a moment, I couldn't breathe. He leaned back against the wall, eyes closed. When I saw your pitch that night, I knew it was better than mine. You were better. And it scared the hell out of me. So I used what I knew. I pushed harder, called favors, crossed lines I shouldn't have. I didn't leak your idea, but I didn't stop it either. And when you fell, I told myself it was the cost of ambition. I stared at him, my heart beat a slow, angry drum. And now I know ambition means nothing if you destroy the only person who ever made you feel alive. Silence. Then the distant hum of traffic. The world outside didn't care that mine was cracking open all over again. Why tell me this? I asked. He looked up at me, and in his eyes, there was no victory, no smugness, just something raw. Because you deserve to stop hating someone who doesn't exist anymore. Something shifted in me. A piece of the bitterness I'd carried for months loosened its grip. I didn't forgive him. Not yet. But I understood him. And that was worse, somehow. That night I couldn't sleep. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw the way he looked at me like a man waiting for judgment. By morning, I knew I had to face it. All of it. I showed up at his office before sunrise. He was already there, standing by the window, coffee in hand, the city still half asleep below us. Still chasing the sunrise? He said quietly. Maybe I'm just tired of running from it. He turned, searching my face for something anger, hope. I wasn't sure. I stepped closer, my voice steady. I can't change what happened, Lucas. And I don't know if I'll ever be able to forgive it completely. But I'm done pretending that I don't feel anything. He blinked, unsure. What are you saying? I'm saying I'm tired of losing twice. Before he could answer, I reached out, my hand finding his. It was warm, trembling slightly. He didn't pull away. For the first time in months, I really breathed. The city below started to wake. Taxis honking, voices rising. The heartbeat of something alive and relentless. Maybe forgiveness wasn't a single act. Maybe it was a series of choices, small, fragile, human ones. Lucas's thumb brushed the back of my hand. You still hate me a little, don't you? Maybe, I said, smiling faintly. But I'm starting to hate you in lowercase now. He laughed quiet, disbelieving, beautiful. And then he pulled me in. The kiss wasn't cinematic. It wasn't fireworks or violins. It was hesitant, real, the kind of kiss that says we're still broken, but maybe that's okay. When we finally pulled apart, the city was golden. Months later, our names began to circulate again in the industry, this time, together. The campaign we built side by side went viral. Two creatives who turned rivalry into redemption. The headlines called it the comeback of the year. I called it something else, finally breathing again. We didn't talk about the past much after that. Sometimes, in quiet moments, I'd catch him looking at me, that guilt flickering behind his smile. And I'd touch his hand, wordlessly reminding him we made it through. One evening, as we walked home through Central Park, the air cool and soft, he stopped by the lake. Do you ever miss it? He asked. What? The war. I thought about that for a long moment. The late nights, the adrenaline, the endless need to be better. Then I looked at him, his hand in mine, his eyes reflecting the city lights. No, I said. I think I finally won. He smiled, pulling me closer. Yeah, because this time you can't steal it. He laughed, and I kissed him again. Right there under the fading New York skyline, no cameras, no stage, no audience. Just two men who destroyed and rebuilt each other, learning that sometimes love isn't about victory at all. It's about surrender and the grace to start over. The wind picked up, carrying the scent of rain. The city lights shimmered across the water like 1,000 small promises. And as he leaned his forehead against mine, I realized something simple and true. Losing everything wasn't the end. It was the only way I could learn how to love him and myself without fear. And this time, I wasn't going to let either slip away again. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe to stay updated with the latest videos.